Parents with nanny cams, what have you caught your babysitter doing? My story isn't that interesting, but I have a camera to check in on my rabbit when I'm not there. The biggest surprises were mostly just how almost nobody followed my pet sitting instructions. The one exception, ironically, was my brother, who claimed to hate the rabbit and always wanted to get rid of it. I got an alert one day that my camera had detected movement while my bro was there taking care of him, and I decided to take a peek. I opened the app connected to the camera and saw my bro walk into my room, lay on the floor, and start playing with my rabbit. It just warmed my heart. First rule of siblings: never show your siblings that you love them or their pets. We have a security camera in my bedroom for my free roam bunny, so we can keep an eye on her whilst on work. If we go on holiday well, my dad is 50 and is a big bloke who acts like he doesn't like pets, came over to visit one day whilst I was out. He went in my room and crouched down calling the bunny. He spent an hour trying to pet the rabbit and kept repeating in a soft voice, "I'm not going to hurt you. I just want to pet you and see how fluffy you are." He just about shit himself when I spoke through the security camera to tell him she's very fluffy. I definitely shit my pants if I was randomly called out for trying to pet a bun. A friend caught his nanny hitting their kid for interrupting that day's binge of the TV show Friends. Hope the cops were called. This isn't an answer, more of an additional question. But how much of the video do parents with nanny cams watch? Or do they watch them on speed playback and adjust the speed to normal if they see something suspicious or noteworthy? We have an outdoor camera. If we need to go back to check something, we watch on super fast forward. Turns out our paid house/dog sitter did not walk the dog like she was supposed to. The couple I sat for had a nanny cam in their living room, the kind that went in pairs. They got me on video giving their 2-year the Heimlich after he tried to eat a rock. Fun somewhat related fact: I recently took a first aid course, and they are not legally allowed to call it the Heimlich maneuver anymore, because the inventor died and his family want royalties for companies teaching it as Heimlich maneuver. It's just the J maneuver now. Not me, but my aunt's friend set up a nanny cam because she noticed that every time she changed her child's diaper, the child would start crying a lot more than usual. Turns out when they watched the nanny change her diaper, she would use Clorox wipes if they were nearby instead of grabbing the baby wipes. What the fuck? We once caught the nanny putting charcoal to feed them as a snack. This woman claimed that she thought it was a snack. It was in a charcoal box. My brothers were 4. Babies can have little charcoal as a snack. My family bought one to see our dogs when we leave on vacation twice a year. It's one where they can hear us, and we thought it'd be great. We hardly used it. We also asked our maid to dog sit for us while we were out. Once when we looked at the feed, we saw the dog sitter there a solid 30 minutes early, just petting the dogs and playing with them. She's since retired from working, but she was the sweetest old lady and we love her. Another time my dad left a wad of cash on top of the washing machine, about $600, and she put a rubber band around it with a note saying he misplaced it. Stories like this make me so happy. I was a nanny for a family for over 10 years. I moved 8 hours away, but sometimes I drive up to stay with them. If they need me for a weekend, I miss the kids so much. I also babysit/house cleaned all through high school and college. I pride myself on never stealing a thing and never having laid a hand on a child. I'd rather maintain a great relationship and have guaranteed client base for years to come instead of a $20 object to porn most they'd see me do on a nanny cam was picking my nose, lol. I was the kiddo. My mom often tells the story of how she watched me give a big ol' hug to my babysitter, who just broke down out of nowhere after serving me lunch. Turns out her dad had died a month back and it just wasn't a good day for her. I still remember you, Miss Yancey. I hope you're doing just fine now. So wholesome. I've been a pretty regular weekend nanny for an amazing family for 4 years now. They've cycled through a couple different weekday nannies. Since I've been with them, there is only one monitor and it's in the little dude's room. Once the mom showed me on the camera why they let one go. Little dude said, "Mommy said I don't have to do that." And the nanny snapped back, "Well, it doesn't matter. Mommy is a bitch," and then dragged the kid out of the room by his shirt, super fired. not a parent, caught my little sister's babysitter catching a good hour-long nap at 2 p.m. while my 1-year-old sister was up having the time of her life destroying my PlayStation. Did she pay for it? What did your parents say? When I was around 12 years old, my parents caught my babysitter on camera stealing my Northeast's games and shoving them into her pants and shirt. They confronted her about it, and she kept denying it until Ninja Gaiden fell out of her pant leg. My mom took her into a room and made take out all the games she stole. She literally had games shoved under the strap of her bra on her back so that she could sneak them out of the house, and others were put inside the waistband of her underwear. She must really thought about this for a while. Anyway, we got the games back and she was sent home without pay. Were any charges pressed? I got a nanny cam to keep an eye out for my elderly grandfather, especially when the homemaids were there. My grandfather started asking for lots of cash and couldn't remember what was happening to it. A brooch that my aunt was supposed to get disappeared, and then I heard reports of my grandfather being inappropriate with some of the home health aides. He was busted squirreling away his medication that he was supposed to be taking in his chair, giving money to an aide and sexually harassing another aide. I've been taking care of elderly with dementia for 13 years. They lose the frontal lobe where the filter is. Little 90-year-old ladies who never swore a day in their life are like friggin' sailors. Lol, men usually get frisky with the females. It's what happens with this disease. We didn't have a nanny cam, but my mom set up the camcorder when she suspected our babysitter was stealing, and then caught the babysitter stealing. She returned most of the stuff when my mom threatened to report her to the police. I think she should still have reported her anyway. Now she probably just went on stealing at other people's places. I think she learned her lesson. Next time the camcorder will be stolen at first. This isn't a bad one. My parents caught the babysitter carrying our 60-pound golden retriever like he was a baby. Because he is a baby, a beautiful golden baby. Chasing my cats around with a broom, hitting them. She's since been fired. From a cannon, I hope. I'm not a parent, rather the child, and I had this nanny, or yeah as we would call it. It became useless because she soon found out and kept unplugging the camera. It turns out she was slowly stealing money from my family. We fired her. If a hardwired camera got unplugged even once, I would immediately think someone tampered with it. My aunt has a nanny cam and found my older cousin's babysitter playing blackjack with him. She lost $50 lol. Lol, she paid to babysit him at that point. Well, a case which happened near where I live. Woman used to work, husband out of country, had a 2-year-old kid. They hired a nanny to look after him during daytime. Day by day kid started looking malnourished. So she set up a spy cam. Apparently the lady used to bring her kid and feed him all the food left for the kid she was supposed to babysit. Then she would feed the kid cheap biscuits. She was promptly handed over to police. That happened to my uncle. The babysitter was stealing formula for her own child and giving him watered down formula. My uncle got sicker and sicker. They fired the babysitter, but he eventually died. Friends of ours don't have kids but have dogs. They were going out of town and told the dog sitter about all of the cameras, including the one that is outside, but sometimes picks up reflections and will actively notify them of motion. The dog sitter seemed to get it, but she forgot to convey that to her boyfriend, who came out and walked around naked quite a bit. The dogs were naked too. Fair's fair. The family I nanny for told me that their previous nanny got caught doing loads of awful things. The couple that outraged me most were one, leaving their 3-year-old daughter in the tub with water up to her chest for 2 hours every day while she sat in another room unable to see said child. And 2, once she went to run an errand with the same kid and their doorbell camera caught her putting kid in car seat, not buckling her, and peeling off. The mom said you could see toddler trying to buckle herself in before they took off. Wait, they had cameras in the bathroom. Yes, that nanny should be in jail, but still, WTF. I have caught her making pillow forts that are heavily resistant to the monsters that may or may not come out during heavy thunderstorms with my kiddo 20 minutes after bedtime. Needless to say, she was dealt with appropriately. RIP. What I learned today: redditors have more dogs than kids, if not equal. That and redditors have very good taste in nannies. I was expecting a bunch of scandalous nonsense in this thread, but instead got 40 copies of "She danced with my dog." My uncle told me this once, when a babysitter was holding his daughter, my older cousin, when she was a baby. The baby was playing with her toys and she somehow swallowed a small piece of something, and the babysitter performed the Heimlich but for babies. There's a version of that for babies IDK where I found it though. She saved my cousin and her family was thankful. They have no idea where the babysitter is now, but right now she's supposed to be around her late 40s. Baby Heimlich, http www.mochildren.org/health-library/chkng. It's worth knowing. She picked up our pug Digi and was dancing around the living room with him while that "Hey, I just met you" song was playing. Was Digi a good dance partner? Put my child to bed and had a friend over and masturbated on the couch together.